Benicio del Toro deals with the curse of lycanthropy in The Wolfman. Hello and welcome to Vaughn on Movies, home to the world's toughest movie critic. This week I'm looking at Universal's remake of their classic monster film, The Wolfman. Set near the end of the 19th century in the quaint English village of Blackmore, our story kicks off with our protagonist, Lawrence Talbot, played by Benicio del Toro, approaching his village after word of the disappearance of his brother Ben. Lawrence hears about this through a letter from Gwen Conleth, played by Emily Blunt, who was going to marry his brother Ben. Upon meeting up with his father, John Talbot, played by Anthony Hopkins, Lawrence finds out that his brother is deceased. Lawrence, being an actor, takes it upon himself to investigate the murder. His brother's mangled corpse suggests a grizzly bear, but the locals think that there's some kind of beast prowling the night. During a full moon, Lawrence happens to come across some traveling gypsies. They tell him all about the beast, and what do you know, it appears. In the middle of the hustle and bustle, Lawrence is torn up. He survives, but has to carry the burden of transforming into a werewolf. Many of the scenes are quite gory, with decapitations and limbs being thrown left and right, but at no point did I really find it scary because the Danny Elfman score swamps all the action. It seemed kind of comedic, actually. From the get-go, the pacing is sporadic. Immediately, we're shown Ben getting hunted down, and that takes, 20 seconds? We can't really relate to him as a character, and that carries on throughout the movie. At no point did I root for anybody in this movie. Somebody should tap Anthony Hopkins on the shoulder and remind him that he doesn't have to be Hannibal Lecter all the time. After Lawrence gets attacked and survives, the locals are quite freaked out, and this is understandable because he looks like Brian Peppers the whole movie. A big deterrent I have with the film is the characterization. I didn't feel that anybody had a life outside of what was going on during a full moon. Every other event is edited around, so if it's not a full moon, it's a montage leading to a full moon. What this tells us is we have no time to develop characters. They don't sit down and have a joke. They don't go about their daily lives. They're just always focused on the beast. They just seem robotic, and when they get picked off, I don't care. You know what? The CGI effects and the makeup, costuming, pretty strong here, but sometimes in the middle of the werewolf fighting, it looks like monkeys at play. Before I give out my final score, I have to give a shout out to this week's Pop Quiz Hotshot Trivia winner, Brian Osler. Congratulations. And also, shout out to Angela D85 for providing me with a question. Be sure to look for those Sundays, midnight Central Time. And if you got a question you want to submit, hit me up on Twitter. It's a remake. There's not a lot of surprises, and the twist that is there, it's predictable. One of my favorite things about the movie is Hugo Weaving as the inspector who has to try to figure out what's going on. He's a smart aleck, but he might just be the most human character in the movie, despite being handed the villain card. You know what? If you're a fan of the Wolfman, you're going to see the makeup and think, not necessarily werewolf, but akin to the original Wolfman, and you're going to be pleased enough by that. And if you're not a fan, you don't have a whole lot of reason to watch this movie. You can see all these actors give better performances elsewhere. There's not a lot to dislike because it's so by the numbers, it's as though they just punched out a template for this movie. That said, it stays the course, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but it's not incredibly memorable. I give The Wolfman 2 out of 4 stars. And there is a little something I want to raise, and I'm going to have to take it into spoiler zone, so stay tuned. Spoilers. Lawrence sees his dad go down to this tomb where his mom has been buried. And there's all of these candles already lit. He just walked down there, so when did he light these candles? Why would he be walking back if he had the candles lit? He can't move that fast. And yeah, we do find out that he's a werewolf. But he hasn't transformed or anything. Plus, he seems to have really good killing skills in human form. as we find later in the movie. Give me your thoughts on that. I'll see you guys next time.